Here and today's the program is very tight, and I think this meeting going to be very effective. I think it's whoever the chair to run the program and make sure it's if you run the program, make sure it goes smoothly, and also people later have a chance to take picture and whatever agenda in your mind. Just make sure the time is at 3:45 we leave. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
各位领导、各位来宾，下午好。今天呢，在这里开一个小型的座谈会哈。咱们现在会议开始。
Good afternoon, everyone, and now the meeting will begin.
2020年，美国总统大选，世界瞩目。大家呢都很关心这件事情。
The 2020 U.S. presidential election is in the center of the world attention.
但是呢，在选举中，最引人关注的还是咱们杨安泽先生。
Mr. Yang is one of the most anticipated presidential candidates in this election.
因为杨安泽先生的参选理念有着很高的前瞻性。
He's a visionary.
因为呢，他也是美国有史以来第一位华人参选总统的候选人。
He's the first Chinese American to run the president in the history of the United States.
今天呢，杨安泽先生和他的优秀的团队代表来到了我们西雅图，来到了我们WeCan集团。
Today, him and his excellent team representative came to Seattle and came to our WeCan Group Corporation.
在此，我们表示热烈的欢迎。同时呢，也表示对杨安泽先生参选总统表示极大的支持。
We have great support for your election becoming president.
今天我们在这里召开一个座谈会。 同时感谢前来参会的领导和嘉宾们。
And therefore, we're having a conference today, and thank you all the leaders and guests who are coming here to this meeting.
那么下面我们有请WeCan集团董事长、分析化学高级工程师魏依林女士为我们讲话。Let's
give it up for Ms. Wei Yulin, President of WeCan Group Corporation, and also the Senior Engineer of Analytical Chemistry.
尊敬的杨安泽先生，尊敬的各位来宾，非常高兴大家为杨安泽2020年总统竞选集聚在这里，感到无比的荣幸。
Dear Andrew Yang and dear distinguished guests. Good afternoon. On behalf of all my staff here in the office, thank you for coming today, and everyone guests to support him for his 2020 presidential election.
我对于这个杨安泽先生的话，我第一佩服他的勇气，他能够登上这个舞台的话，让世界震惊。所以
I admire your courage for running for president. Thank you.
所以。 我及我的团队很愿意支持他。
Me and my team is very supportive for your election.
为他的这个辞职感到骄傲，感到高兴，感到荣幸。
Just proud of you and happy for you. It's her pleasure.
不管未来他选上跟不选上，我觉得并不重要。 我觉得最重要的是，他对我们华人起了一个榜样，起了一个推动的作用。
No matter what the outcome is, it's a great iconic figure for us Chinese Americans to see you running for president.
期待在不久的将来得到你更好的消息。谢谢大家。
这些是WeCan集团的咱们的团队成员，还有一部分没有来，坐不下啊。 咱们也表示你们的到来表示感谢啊。
This is our WeCan group teams, and some of them may not join us today, but we're glad that some of us are here today to support you.
下面有请咱们WeCan集团总裁Farash先生为咱们讲话。
Next, let's welcome our WeCan Group Corporation CEO, Faraz.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I also wanted to thank Mr. Andrew for being here today. I was thinking about this last night, and we all know it's hard to run for any office, let alone for the highest office in the country. And we sometimes take that for granted, the sacrifice it takes for an individual to run for the presidency. The journey doesn't start when you announce. The journey starts as a kid. You have to have discipline. You can't make any wrong moves.
I made a lot of wrong moves.
Right. The goalposts might have changed a few years ago, but yet it is a long journey of dedication and discipline, and that's something to appreciate, and something that we take for granted when people run for the office to move this country forward with their vision. And I personally appreciate it. I know everyone around this table appreciates it, the sacrifices you have to make. And hopefully, when you're in the office with your vision, we can continue moving this country in the direction that it needs to be going. So personally, I thank you for the court, for the courage and effort that it takes to take on this battle. And hopefully we can do our part, a small part for that, to support you in this journey. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
下面有请咱们这次大会的组委会的领导李伟先生讲话。李伟在那儿。
Thank you, everybody. So, people, I'm not a leader. I'm just coordinator and not volunteer for Andrew. And thank you, everybody, especially Andrew, make this happen. Yeah, we're doing a great job in this first time he came to Seattle, and I already feel the passion that everybody, the teamwork, and also the rally and the dinner, and for the donation, everything. It's just well prepared, and we're so proud that Andrew is here today with us. Excuse me a little bit, I'll just have to say some Chinese because some guests always speak Chinese. They don't understand English. I will just translate this to English too. So 各位社区领袖，各位嘉宾，我们都是在为着同一个目标 ，Andrew 杨，来到这里。 然后五湖四海为了这个把安祖阳送到白宫 White House. We'll send him to the White House, yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have Andrew Yang, we have his team, we have local politics, politicians and officers, and also we get entrepreneurs, we get lawyers and everything, the local leaders. So everybody in this group, this room is local leaders. We make it happen. So I'm so proud, and let me introduce Miss. We already speak, right?
Yes.
She already spoke. So let me introduce one by one. Let you know who is who, because I'm more familiar with you. You already introduced the WeCan group, yes. Right? So this is the Janice Zhen. Bellevue council member, she's awesome. Yeah, she's just great.
Yeah. So Janice, you supporting Steve here?
Staying out of it.
Well, actually, Winston, if it's okay, I would like to say something.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
To me, we are a community, a country of immigrants. So I'm really excited that you're choosing to step up to run, because it is really challenging to run for office, right? You're laying your life out there, everyone is going to be looking at your whole life and everything you've done. So it does take a lot of courage and commitment to step forward. And I think especially for the Chinese community, where we grow up around the values of hard work, being humble, right, be in the background, don't make waves, don't make noise. And so to step beyond that into office and leadership and running for president is huge. And so to me, I see this as a way for you to pave the way for others to see that as Chinese Americans, we too can aspire and run for the highest office of the United States. So I'm excited for this day.
Thank you, Jan.
And to be here.
For what it's worth, I think it's harder to run for local office than run for president.
Well, we certainly develop really thick skin.
Because the local office, everyone knows where you live, everyone knows who you are, everyone like sees you around. Whereas for me, if something happens and I'm not there, no one thinks anything of it.
Andrew 说，选总统其实比选当地的官员要简单，因为当地的官员大家会刨根问底知道你是谁，但是总统呢就会很简单。Let's say Steve Fields.
So
Introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk.
Well, all right, thank you.
At most 2 minutes.
Okay. So I'm Steve Fields. I'm on the Redmond City Council. And Janice and I did support each other 2 years ago when we both ran for council. Local politics is hard because everybody is trying to figure out where they fit in. And what I want to say to you is the courage that you are showing to run has already been talked about. But to me, there's another layer of courage here. And most politicians that I watch and that I know do not have the courage that you're doing, which is to really look hard and critically at the direction of the country and where our likely future lies, and to say, we need to examine this and we need to look at it, and I have some ideas on how to get there. That's not done at the level you're doing it. You're very impressive, and I'm telling you that a lot of people who I talk to, and their first response on your universal income is, oh no. But I said, no, look at it, understand it, and then they come back and they say, I understand what you're saying. There is certainly courage, and there is certainly insight and intelligence into what Andrew Yang is doing and saying. So I appreciate that Asian Americans, their feelings, but I'm telling you, as a non-Asian American, my feelings are very strong about what you're doing for all of us. So thank you.
Steve for mayor, am I right? Let's give him a round of applause.
You got a
I don't know
president.
who your opponent is, but he or she is terrible compared to you.
You get a president's endorsement.
Yeah, can I get that video?
Yeah, sure, I'll endorse you, man. I don't know who your opponent is. Who's your opponent? Who's your opponent?
I'm much better.
Sunta Wu.
I'm Sunta Ng, and I'm publisher of the Northwest Asian Weekly and Seattle Chinese Post. We have a big spread on him. When I first saw you on TV, national news, what, an Asian face? Oh my God. And then Winston Lee called me and said, Andrew Yang is coming. I said, you're kidding me. As a newspaper journalist, I am supposed to be neutral. But I'm doing this, I'm here because I see your campaign and your decision to run as a way to empower the Asian American community. So when he called me and I said, you know, I'm not supposed to talk to you about this, but his passion actually convinced me to be part of this. So I'm guilty. But I wish you luck, and very happy that you are doing very strong. I mean, I'm surprised that even the Seattle Times has a feature on you. But I'll tell you that they copied me. They saw our article quite some time ago.
Yeah, they copied you.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm ahead of Jay Inslee in the polls.
Yeah. And yes, I have to thank the New York Times. We got the tip from the New York Times.
Okay. Yeah, this is my 这是我的师傅，我的big donor, Mr. Lai, and he's a big entrepreneur. People call it China's Bill Gates. Then yeah, he will just give us a little bit speak. 来总欢迎你讲几句。对，就是给杨安泽打打气，我给你做翻译。
这个一个是欢迎啊，杨安泽到西雅图。西雅图啊，地接人灵。
Seattle, the people is outstanding, the environment is the best.
中国的这个这些啊，胡锦涛也好，习近平也好，江泽民也好，每次到美国，首站就是西雅图。
First stop is Seattle.
我代表中美加友好协会505集团董事局，一个是欢迎啊杨安泽同志，来这里宣讲他的竞选纲领。我希望一个好的总统，第一，必须是人民能够安全、身心健康，特别是把安全放到第一位。只有安全、身心健康，才能考虑发展。另外一个就是要重视教育，贵与贵之间的竞争是贵力的竞争、科技的竞争、教育的竞争，说到底是人才的竞争。我认为啊，杨安泽同志啊，脱颖而出，作为少数民族的杰出代表，有胆有识，年富力强。我希望这10年杨安泽给他捐款，捐的越多越好。
He will support Andrew and he will donate for young Andrew and the much more he could.
一个要捐款就是要舍得，有舍就有得，舍得是一个大智慧。我希望有更多的华州的、美国的各界人士，能够舍得。只有舍得，你才能健康长寿。心态决定一切。积极的心态像太阳照到哪里哪里亮，消极的心态像月亮抽一手不一样。我希望杨安泽能够促进中美友谊，促进世界和平，这样你就能胜出。
He wishes you can make the after you vote make that.
你跟我爸爸一样的。He reminds me of my father.
你像跟他父亲一样。
你跟他父亲好像。
对。
Yeah, yeah, you're like my dad.
对，你跟他父亲很像。对。
儿子总统，儿子总统，儿子总统。
Andrew, do you want to give us the? We know you will speak a lot later. Like today, you got 2 events or interviews. Do you want to talk to us?
Sure, no,
a little bit.
I'd be thrilled to. First, thank you for coming together and providing such an incredibly supportive and warm welcome. I really appreciate it. And let's give Winston a round of applause for bringing us. Also, I meant what I said when I said that running for local office is something I admire more than even running for president, because I can just disappear for a day and no one cares. But if Steve or Janice disappears for a day, then like someone's still at their door, being like, what's going on? So just admire it, and admire Janice in particular, because I know running for office as a woman and a minority, much less minority woman, like in this sort of environment, would be extraordinarily uphill. So I just admire it a great deal. And for me personally, I'm very proud to represent the Asian American community in this race. I'm certainly very proud of my own background and heritage. My parents came to this country in the 1960s and met in graduate school. And then, I grew up in upstate New York and loved this country. And I think that my experience in this country is very similar to what many of your children will experience. And there is certainly a sentiment that you have that your Americanness is somehow a little bit lower than other people's. That's like both an Asian American and like a first generation immigrant to this country. Some people ask me every once in a while, did you ever think you were going to run for president? And I never would have imagined it. You know, so for us, if you think I was like plotting running for president when I was a kid, I very much was not. One joke I tell is that my parents' list went doctor, lawyer, and then stopped. It wasn't like president. And I think for most people in our community, running for office, and this is one reason I admire Janice in particular so much, is that running for office is not something we're encouraged to do at all. There's a sense that what we're supposed to do is come in and kick ass economically in some profession, and running for office politically just seems like a very, very unwelcome arena that's also not terribly lucrative if you're non-corrupt. So I don't think any of our parents were like, oh, you should run for office. Certainly my parents were not telling me to run for office. I'm sure Janice's parents were not telling her to run for office. So one of the things I'd say about the Asian American community generally, and one reason I love the people who are activists here today, is that around the country, Asian Americans are an afterthought politically. No one really thinks that much of us. And there are some excellent reasons why they do not think that much of us. One, we vote at lower levels than other people. Two, we give money at lower levels than other people. Three, we run for office at lower levels than other people. Four, we're in states that we cannot swing politically. We're in New York, Massachusetts, California, Texas, Washington, places that where they're clearly blue or red and our votes don't matter. Five, we're divided politically, where half of us are Republican, half of us are Democrats. So we are very much a political non-entity. And when I talk to national politicians, they say, not like, I mean, some of them said this explicitly, that we're essentially a low-level ATM.
Yeah, you just continue to speak. I'll just translate for.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Where they show up, collect some checks from us, take some pictures, and even don't have to worry about it.
很多人就是想跟着照个照片，然后呢就走了。
I mean, like that's so that is the way we were perceived politically. And certainly the fact that I might be able to energize our community is a real source of excitement and pride for me. Now, as Steve indicated, my campaign does not really center upon my identity. It centers on economics and technology and their impact on the entire country. But one of the things I've figured out over time is that your perspective is somewhat hard to disentangle from who you are. So the fact that I see these issues of economics and technology as central to what's going on in the country probably has something to do with the fact that I'm Asian. And so this campaign is an opportunity for us, for our community, to demonstrate that we are as American as anyone else, and that we have a political voice that has been dormant for a long time. And the hope is that I can help wake us up. And if I succeed in that, then that could be historic. Now, many Asian Americans, when they see my campaign, they think, this is something to get excited about. This is someone I will support, but he will not win. He cannot win. And the fact is, right now I'm beating Jay Inslee. I'm beating half a dozen senators and governors from around the country. I'm polling at 3% nationwide, and no one knows who I am. I've raised over $3 million in increments of only $20 from over 100,000 Americans around the country, and no one's heard of me. You had never heard of me until how many, like, you know, the last year maximum, right? I mean, no one's heard of Andrew Yang before. like a year ago. So very, very astute political analysts have looked at this and said, he's polling at 3%, he's raised millions of dollars in increments of only $20, and no one's ever heard of him. So as more people hear about him, he's just going to grow in popularity, and no one knows what my ceiling is. We kind of know what Bernie Sanders' ceiling is. We kind of know what Elizabeth Warren's ceiling is. No one knows what Andrew Yang's ceiling is. And I'm already drawing people that voted for Donald Trump, who are Republicans, who are conservatives, who are libertarians, who are independents, as well as Democrats and progressives. And then that includes Asian Americans, because a lot of Asian Americans are Republicans and conservatives and independents. So I'm incredibly grateful for this community's support, and Asian Americans supported me before anyone else. But we can go all the way. I can win this whole race. Right now, I am, depending upon how you look at it, somewhere between 6th and 8th in the race. And the people ahead of me have very, very clear deficiencies. So we're going to shock the world. And thank you for your belief and support in making that happen. Thank you very much.
It's the same here in our community. And I think the more that we come together with pragmatic solutions, we bring the community together. Because I will say that I've actually thankfully been supported when I was running for election 2 years ago by folks that were more conservative, and they were willing to spend the time with me, actually sometimes hours, right, Winston?
Yeah.
Meeting to understand who I was and how I would show up and represent the community. And ultimately, I was supported by folks that may not have the same party affiliation. And so I believe that in your running for office now, you're actually going to be one of those unifying forces between the Chinese Americans that are both on the Republican and the Democratic Party. Because anymore, our country has to come together in unity to get things done. Because the divisiveness in our country is not going to get anything done. And I do think that at heart, as Chinese Americans, we also tend to be very careful with our money and frugal. So the more that we watch how money gets spent in a way that doesn't get results, it really, we are called to actually make a difference.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask in part because if either you or Steve want to endorse me, you'd be one of the first elected officials to do so at any level. You've endorsed me?
Well, I do. I put it out on social media.
Wait, we put it out on social media. Yes. Let's get it. We got one. Are you in too?
I'm in.
Yes.
No,
All right.
okay,
good. I'm going to get you guys back. I'll get you guys back. After I'm president, I'll come back here and campaign. So
okay, let's make one announcement. We are going to have another TV interview in 5 minutes. So it's let's